Whoa. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MX information session. We are fired up to be here and so looking forward to having MX present. They are hiring across the board and have such cool opportunities that they're super excited to share with you. Today, I have Natalie and David ready to go from the recruiting team. Who are going to share more about their opportunities and tell you what life is like at MX. But if you're just tuning in, go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat. Tell us where you're tuning in from. Tell us what questions you have for MX. Let's really give it to Natalie and David and really get the inside scoop on what's going on in MX. So without further ado, I will hand the time over to Natalie and David and let them take it from here. Good luck, guys.
Awesome. Thanks so much for the introduction, Luke. Let me go ahead and share my screen so that you guys can see. And so thanks everybody for joining. We are just thrilled to be here to tell you a little bit more about MX. As Luke said, my name's Dave McNary. I'm actually over talent branding and projects over at MX. And this is my second week. So I'm still getting to know the company. And so far it has been just fantastic. And also here with me, I've got Natalie. Natalie's much more of a veteran. Natalie, do you want to, introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi guys, I'm Natalie. I'm on the talent team as well. So excited to be here and tell you guys more about MX and some of the amazing things that we've got going on and a little bit about who we are. So we are a fintech company. We're a financial services in this financial services space. And we've come up with some really amazing software that we market to banks and credit unions to help them and their customers really get better insights into their finances. That's our whole mission at MX is to empower the world to be financially strong. And I know when we say empower the world, that's a really big statement, but we have an amazing group that we're collectively all working towards this really big goal. We've been around since 2010, so coming up on our 11th year here, which is super exciting. We were just awarded our Series C funding, 300 million. Lots and lots of amazing things that we're going to be using that funding for and funding some more projects. We did also just get our 1.9 billion valuation, largest valuation in Silicon Slopes. Super excited about that. It's amazing. Last year with the pandemic, a lot of people had just a lot of struggles and we didn't really slow things down, which was amazing. We were still able to keep hiring. We're up to almost 600 people. And we've been awarded some really amazing, amazing awards in the last few years. Best places to work in fintech by American Banker 3 years in a row, which is awesome. And then also top workplaces by Utah Business Magazine 3 years in a row as well. Anything you want to add in there, David?
Yeah, I think a lot of this has to go with the amazing leadership that we have here at MX. The CEO of the year, the CXO of the year. I think a lot of that can be attributed to their leadership and kind of the vision that they have, and also to the values that they've been able to set up, which I think is the foundation of MX. And we're going to talk a little bit more about those values. And even though we're just going to briefly go over those, we'd invite you to check out our career site after this, because it goes over all of those values in much more depth.
Absolutely. We are a very, very value and mission-driven company. Our values really help shape our culture. They're really the guidelines that we live and work by. And I know it sounds cheesy, but we really do live and breathe them at MX. One that is definitely different about our values, one of them is our founder's mindset. It's different in that, we really want people to just find problems and just attack them and just really find creative solutions. And, I love the phrase, if not me, then who? If not now, then when? And that really is kind of that shaping value, founder's mindset.
Yeah. I love that one as well. And it really just drives home that autonomy and how MX gives it to the employees to be the owners of their roles and over their portion of the company, if you will. Another one that really sticks out to me is the objectivity in discourse. I am all for being open and candid. And MX definitely promotes that. They encourage employees, doesn't matter where you are in the company or where you contribute, your opinion and your perspective is valued, which really has been important to me, at least in my journey here so far. So again, like I mentioned, take a look on our career site if you want to read a little bit more about the background of each of these values, but we just wanted to kind of give you an overview here.
Awesome. So we kind of went over our mission already, empowering the world to be financially strong. We get to work with some amazing financial institutions and really just help provide amazing tools that help their customers get better insight into their finances. Some of our customers you'll probably recognize. The one that I like to bring up the most here locally in Utah, America First Credit Union is one that a lot of people will recognize. And then BECU is another one, UCCU. We've got just amazing clients that we're able to work with and really just improve their customer experience and give them better insights into their data.
Yeah. And if you're like me, before I knew about MX, I was always kind of curious as to how it worked, right? So is this like a tool that I can use as a direct customer? And the answer is sort of. We definitely make these tools with customers and with end users in mind. But the way that we do this is we actually work very closely with these banks, and we create the tool for employees to connect all of their bank accounts into one spot. So if you think about it, if you've got an account here with VW for your credit, and then you've got another account over here with Zions Bank or Mountain America, and then America First, and you usually have to go into each of those individually if you want to see those amounts. But what MX does, it actually takes all of those accounts and it's able to drive them into one secular place for you to be able to see your money and your management, and it gives you a very good high-level overview on how you can make those decisions best. And like Natalie said, we're growing quite a bit, and I think it's because of how versatile this tool is and easy it is to use.
Awesome. So, last year during the pandemic, we were not able to enjoy some of our really awesome in-office perks. And so instead of cutting our contracts and reallocating that budget money somewhere else, we continued to, buy the same amount of smoothies and the same amount of bagels and things that we would have done if we were all in office. And instead of obviously sending them out to our employees, we actually went out to the community and we donated them to, local hospitals and law enforcement and first responders. And it was a great opportunity to really just give back to the community in a time where it was needed. It's been a rough year. So it was great to see that MX was still continuing to give back and look for opportunities to give back to our community. All of our break room perks were donated to a local food bank. And like I mentioned earlier, last year, we didn't really slow down our hiring. We were still able to bring in some amazing, talented teammates. We hired over 160 people last year. We sent out some amazing, really, really fun culture packages, about 2,000 of them, just some really fun. We did a sunshine box that was really cool. I think David missed that. Our sunshine box was really fun. It was obviously all yellow things and just a cute little pick-me-up that we all sent out to our employees. And it was a great way to just bring everybody together and let everybody know that we appreciate the hard work that they're doing for our team and furthering our mission along. And we also had several virtual events, banking events that we put on and that were, wildly fantastic and just very successful virtual events. So last year was amazing.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Well, now we're, here to the point where most of you are here for, and that's the positions that we have available. Like Natalie had mentioned, we are hiring like crazy because we're growing. And a lot of that is within our engineering and product. And so even though, that's all we have posted here, we still have many more positions posted on our career site. So we definitely invite you to look at those and let us know. We're going to be on an open networking call a little bit later on this afternoon. And we hope to see you there so we can chat and talk to you a little bit more about those opportunities. So really appreciate you all being here. Here's the direct link if you want to take a look in the meantime. So, Luke, I guess we're going to open up for Q&A.
Let's Q&A this thing up. That was fantastic and so cool to hear how MX is impacting the world. I just love to see when a company is doing big things, and it obviously shows in your valuation and the funding and support that you're getting from people who know a lot about this space. So thank you so much for sharing. The chat has been popping since we jumped in here. So I just want to What's up, Heather, Daniel, Haley, Cy, Dave? I mean, the list goes on and on. Aaron, what's up? Good to see you again. Okay, well, let's jump into some of these questions here. Carol Chung asks, would current job openings consider long-term remote workers? Or what are the expectations for relocation? Probably a good one to get out the way right at the beginning.
Yeah, totally. With the pandemic, we have really found that, the term of being a butts and seats company just doesn't really hold water anymore. We've been able to really continue to drive our mission forward, all working remotely. And so, remote work is definitely something that we are still going to continue to do. We will be opening the office, when we feel that it's safe and appropriate for, our team members and their families. So right now, all of our roles are, remote. And I think that there are some conversations around, what that's going to look like and whether or not we are going to continue to have like full, work from home remote positions. It's still a little bit of a gray zone here, but definitely something that we will be, talking about in the near future.
Love it. So would you encourage people from out of state to apply to these jobs? I know Christian Hep asked a little bit about this, for folks out of the region. What would you recommend?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we still encourage everybody to apply, even if you're out of state. And again, I think it will depend on the role. And I think most roles, I mean, if you've been working remote for the past year and the same sort of role, then chances are that role will still be remote if it makes the most sense.
Fantastic. Great answer. And I see questions coming in here. If you haven't yet, go ahead and ask these questions. Would love to hear from you. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Lionel Rosales asks, how flexible are you on bringing entry-level engineers to help get familiar with the software and company guidelines?
Do you want me to take that one, David?
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely provide internship opportunities. We don't have a full-on internship program, but we take interns on an as-needed basis. One of our great opportunities to kind of get a great way to kind of cut your teeth at MX is our customer support team. It's a very technical role. It's customer service based, where you're working directly with our end users. But I know that we've had about 7 or 8 people from the customer support team, all within the last 7 or 8 months, be promoting and moving on to QA teams. So the growth opportunities with MX are absolutely phenomenal. We have a lot of people getting promoted to, junior dev roles and junior, QA roles within a year to a year and a half of their starting point at MX. So absolutely amazing opportunities to kind of get in and really learn our technology, learn our stack, and provide value. We believe in being a meritocracy, and that just means that the more value you provide as an employee, the more we're going to compensate you for that. And so, there's absolutely amazing growth opportunities for sure.
Wow, really cool. I love that outlook. I see a couple of folks asking about what roles that you're looking for. For those interested, I mean, you can see the link here on the screen where to apply, but you can also, there's a button here at the bottom of the video that you can link out to see all of MX's jobs here on Fairstream too. So you'll be able to do that. Whitney asked a really cool question. She says, what's your favorite thing about working at MX? And I would add to that, can you tell us how you both landed a job at this awesome company?
Me first, I guess.
Yeah. Go for it.
So I'll just roll that all into one little answer. I did a complete career switch. I was in the beauty world, and I applied for actually a completely different role. Walked into MX and just felt something really, really special the second I walked into the office, and knew that there was just something different about MX. Ended up interviewing for a completely different role. So I ended up interviewing for 2 different roles. And, the thing that really connects me with MX and kind of my why of MX is that I really wanted to work for a company that I could really get behind what we're doing. And, our mission of helping people with their finances, that just resonates with me. I have always wanted to help other people, and that mission and kind of our values of just wanting to make the world a better place and really make an impact was something that really resonated with me. I didn't want to just clock in and clock out and get paid for something that I didn't really feel passionate about. So I feel, yeah, absolutely incredibly grateful and blessed to be with MX, because it, like I said, kind of went into a totally different path for me. And I love what we're doing, and I'm so happy to be here.
Wow, this is fantastic. And any advice, Natalie, on folks switching careers that are looking to get a job at MX? What would your advice be, since you navigated that successfully?
Yeah, I mean, we love open and just transparency, like David mentioned. We encourage people to be themselves, to be their authentic, amazing, beautiful humans, and we appreciate that. And so I would say just be yourself. Let us know why you connect with our values, why you connect with our mission, and just apply. Never hurts to apply.
That's really cool. Steven says, Natalie, from one career switcher to another, what are the qualities I should be promoting to the recruiting team, since I am transitioning into software engineering from media, music, audio engineering, and they seem unrelated at times?
Oh, great question. Kind of ties into what I was just saying. I mean, making a career switch, you may not be, like I think of myself, I wasn't perfect on paper, right? My resume wasn't exactly what the team was looking for, but I just was my true self, and I just put myself out there. And I would just do as much studying on your own as you can, really learn about the company. I think that's something that a lot of recruiters will tell you is, do your research on the company, and find your why of why you're interested in that company. First off, don't just apply to apply. Really take some time to really feel out whether or not this is the right company and the right, the right values, the right vibe, the right mission, and make sure that that connects with you as well. And then again, just being open, being transparent, be yourself, and go from there.
This is awesome. David,
Sorry,
go ahead.
I'll just add to that. Not that I'm doing a career switch, but I think one thing to add, and this is just, I guess, more practical, in terms of, hey, when you're doing a career switch, I typically will encourage people to think of the soft skills that they have. So if you're in media management, or if you're doing something that's, very different, chances are you're still doing something, you still have a soft skill within that industry that would still relate over into, an engineering job. So what I would encourage you to do is to identify what those soft skills are, right? So chances are you're probably working with a lot of different tools to create, and same sort of thing in engineering. You're using a lot of different tools and a lot of different codes and languages to create. And so being able to kind of bridge those gaps together, so that we can say, hey, yeah, this is different, but he's still got the soft skills that would be required, and this would transition really well into this engineering sort of role. So more of a practical standpoint, that's what I would encourage you to do, is to look at the soft skills and what pieces really do connect and to what we're looking for.
Love it. If it's okay, I'm going to roll on through the chat here. It's going crazy, and there's so many different questions. So that means good job. We'll move on here. Joshua Bigley says, MX is changing the game. What are you doing to ensure your innovation stays 2 steps ahead of expanding the fintech environment?
That's a big question. One of our values is iterative innovation. And a piece of that is, we say, to fail quickly, right? We want to try things, we want to put it out there, and then we want to iterate on it. We want to just make small changes as we see that things need to be improved. And that's another big area of MX, is that we want to be constantly improving things. And so, I think we've got an amazing group of leaders. Our executive team is always just looking ahead at what's in the industry, what's changing, what the trends are in banking, and networking with other people in the industry, and doing like these virtual events that we've done this last year to really kind of keep connected and network, with industry leaders, on, what they're doing, and keeping those conversations open. Anything you want to add to that, David?
No, I think you summed it up very well. I guess there was one other thing, and that's just the transparency too. That's a big part of our culture, and I think, in order for us to continue to improve, we need to be able to be open to that feedback and to be willing to pivot and to change really quickly, which we do here at MX.
Love it. Great answers. Luke asks, and Luke, by the way, may I say you have an amazing name. What commitments has MX made toward providing an inclusive and LGBTQ plus friendly environment for its employees?
Great question. It's definitely an initiative of ours that we are absolutely committed to. We are working on building out a diversity and inclusion program. I don't know if David has any insights on that on the branding side, but I definitely, it's something we talk about in recruiting constantly, all the time.
Yep. We're looking at increasing our net, I should say. So making it more inclusive. So, I mean, there's the diversity piece, but there's the inclusion piece, which is really what we're trying to focus on. So if we can get the opportunities for MX open to more people to be able to participate, we want to do that. So we're exploring those opportunities. We're also looking at, hiring some additional people to help in the D&I space. But yes, this is definitely something that's top of mind that we're working on right now.
And if I could just add really quickly that we're also, trying to be very aware of, events in the community that we can attend to network as well, women in tech events and, groups like that, and to be networking with groups in the community to also help those efforts as well.
Love it. These are great. And then I see a couple of folks like Michael Brown coming in and talking about, that they have a non-traditional background. Maybe they've done a coding camp and that maybe have a year of experience, or they're making a career transition. For those folks, if you could speak to them about some of the unwritten rules or some of the ways that you could, use your MX network or find someone at MX that could help. For how those types of things could improve their chances of landing a job at MX and ultimately, get the opportunity of their dreams. If you could talk to some of those kind of unwritten rules or kind of tricks and tips that you would have up your sleeve if you were a job seeker in this situation right now.
So, Natalie, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've got we're really big into referrals. We love when people can refer and they know people. So if you have connections within MX, I would definitely encourage you to reach out to them and see if you can get endorsements. We try to reach out to all of our referrals within 24 to 48 business hours after they've applied.
Wow.
That's our goal, right?
We're going to hold you to that, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the first thing that came to mind. Jump on LinkedIn, add both David and I for sure. More than happy to be, helping connect people as well. Employee referrals are huge, and just referrals in general. So absolutely jump on LinkedIn. See who you've got connected with and just start talking to people, just start networking. It's a huge way. Go to events, go to anything that's in your realm and be, networking and meeting and talking to as many people as possible and, just start making friends with people.
Agreed.
It. This is awesome. Trissa asked a really good question. If a candidate feels like she or he can be a fit for multiple positions, is there someone they can chat with to narrow down the options and get feedback on what would be a good fit? And maybe, you can talk to how someone might figure out if they're a good fit by looking at the job postings and what types of things that you would do to kind of figure out where their place is at MX.
Totally. Obviously I'm like case in point, right? I applied to one job and got another. So I think I would recommend applying for the job that you're most excited by. First of all, apply for that one. Study up on it and, apply for the one that feels, that you'd be most passionate about. And if we end up going through that process and getting on the phone and chatting through things, if we feel that you're a better fit for a different role, we'll help you decide that as well. So I would say just if there are several jobs that you like, I would just narrow it into the one that you feel most passionate and excited about.
Yep. that actually did happen to me as well, Natalie. Now that you mention it,
awesome.
I had initially been put forward for a different role, and then after chatting with the internal team, they decided, hey, this was a better fit. So I ended up moving forward for this particular position. So yeah, I would just echo what you said. Everybody's very cognizant about every person that applies. We definitely think about it, and we look at the experience to decide if they would be better fit for a different role.
Love the care that you're putting into it that way. The wrong thing to do probably would be to apply to all positions. I've seen that happen sometimes. I was a recruiter, but you tell me if I'm wrong there. You'd probably want them to apply to the one or two that fit best, right?
I would say so. Just for like your time too, like you as a candidate don't want to be applying and wasting your time if it's not going to be a fit. And same sort of thing, like we want to be able to look at you for a specific role and be very intentional about moving forward or not.
Fantastic. Let's see. Katuska asked, do you do discovery calls to go through positions that may be a good fit for someone returning to the workforce? Talk to that.
I don't like, so Natalie, I'm going to give my answer and then you can correct me.
Sure.
So we want to just know that we would love to, but understand that our recruiting team is growing like crazy, and we've got a lot going on right now. So unfortunately, I don't know if we'd have the bandwidth as of right now to do discovery calls. That's the answer for right now. In the future, we might possibly be able to. Natalie, correct me if I'm wrong on that one.
Yeah, no, my first initial was like, I wish I could. I want to talk to everybody and give everybody advice and be able to help. But it's bandwidth wise, we just aren't able to do that. Really applying is kind of the starting point. Again, I said, mentioned, connect with us on LinkedIn is another way. But I wish we could talk to everybody. It'd be amazing. I'd love it.
And I try to be really responsive on my LinkedIn. Like, if you are looking really for genuine career advice and you reach out, I'm more than happy to try to respond, if I can.
Great. These are awesome answers. We have tons of questions still here, so I'm going to try and get through, and we've only got 3 minutes left to go. So we'll do some rapid fire here. Here we go. What does training and development look like for the QA role?
Oh, awesome. So training for QA, we've got an amazing director. His name's Craig Andrew, again, a great person to connect with on LinkedIn. He runs our QA team. We have several different QA teams. And like I mentioned, we've had a lot of internal movement there as well. We try to provide a lot of shadowing and mentoring opportunities. But as far as training goes, I can't speak to a whole lot of exactly what goes on there. But we've got an amazing group of QA leaders that are more than happy to be helping, mentor more junior newbies into the QA space.
Love it. Here's another rapid question. Jill asks, I am thinking of applying to a data analyst intern position, but currently outside of the US, not a US citizen, so they can work remote. What's your advice to Jill and to other folks that are technical and want to work at MX, but just don't have citizenship?
So that's a great question. I don't know if we actually have, if we're set up outside of the United States. And so I think, from a legal perspective, in order for us to be able to support that, they would need to be based out of the United States.
We do provide sponsorships. I don't know a whole lot on that.
They would need to be inside the United States for sponsorships.
Yeah, for sponsorships. And for an intern role, I probably wouldn't recommend just for an intern. Most of our internships are just 3 months long.
No, that totally makes sense. And let's see. I'm going to pick a couple here since we're short on time. Whitney asks, love the company. As a mom, is MX a good place for me? How is work-life balance?
Absolutely. We've got a lot of moms. A couple people on the team that I know have just recently just had babies, and it's so fun. We love our MX babies. It's a great place for, families in general. We're very family oriented. We've got great benefit packages. And the work-life balance is something that's really important to me personally, and hope that the rest of the team is making sure that all of our teammates have a great work-life balance. I think the work from home life has kind of changed things a little bit, but it's definitely something that we are, absolutely passionate about, making sure that our teammates and their families are, well taken care of.
This is awesome, Natalie. Thank you so much for the answer. I know we've come up on time here, and I'll let you say one last goodbye to everyone, but I'll make an announcement before we do. Everyone, thank you so much for joining this session, and I've just loved going through the chat. We didn't get to everyone's questions, so if you have questions for Natalie and David after this, connect with them on LinkedIn and talk to them a little bit more about their experience at MX. For the next session, we have two amazing events. We have a panel which will be with Charisse Gill, Karen Rodriguez, and Ronald Hugh, who are amazing executives, here in Utah and in California. And then we will also have a workshop with the incredible LinkedIn influencer or LinkedIn top voice, Jen Tardy. And so go ahead and join the session that fits best for you, and we'll look forward to seeing you there. With all of that said, last goodbyes, Natalie and David, anything you'd like to say to the group?
Thanks for having
Please connect with us.
Yeah, connect with us. Thanks so much for participating. The questions are awesome. Can't wait to connect with all of you.
Love it. Thank you so much. We'll see you